welcome to another Into the Void Real Review. Right off the bat, before I even get started, I want to apologize. I just got over a cold, so if I sound a little gruff, I apologize. This time we are reviewing Babygirl, directed by Helena Rain and starring Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson. Upon examination of this movie, you would not be wrong to assume this shares the same DNA as the 50 Shades of Grey movies. But to me, this is a much more tame version of that, so if you're looking for steamy sex scenes or something like that here, you're not going to get that. Well, actually, you will get sex scenes, just not anything that is too risque, if you know what I mean. This is more about how sometimes what we look for in life is often what we are most lacking. In the case of Romy, played by Nicole Kidman, we have a woman CEO of an AI company who is familiar with being in control. The problem is that same aspect doesn't work well for her in the intimacy and sexual desire department, which involves her loving but seriously ignorant husband of what turns her on in the bedroom. Her husband, played by an aging gracefully Antonio Banderas, is unaware of the fact that his wife isn't as into their sex life as he is. This leads to an affair with her intern, who has the uncanny ability to tame dogs with cookie in hand, leading to Romy wanting that cookie as well, if you know what I mean.
Hey, how'd you get that dog to calm down?
I gave it a cookie.
You always have cookies on you.
Why, do you want one?
But Romy wasn't built in a day, so of course it takes time for the seduction to take place because she has a tough time relinquishing control to the brash Samuel, who plays with her resistance to his dog taming antics.
We need to set some rules that you and I both agree on.
Did you order this?
Starting with, I tell you what to do and you do it.
When the resistance is broken, things spiral into an intense love affair. Nicole Kidman bears skin quite a bit in this film, exposing herself, of course, in the physical, but also in an emotional sense. Confidence in the professional sense doesn't always translate to a confidence in the bedroom for women in today's climate. You can see in the beginning that for all Romy's success as a CEO, it has stinted her in other areas of her life. What's more, as mothers, women are expected to forego their happiness for the sake of their family, often losing their sexual and individualistic identity. In Babygirl, Samuel is the branch to that other side that Romy lost long ago. I'm sure there are women out there that can relate to Romy's issues, and that will garner the appeal that this film has when watched through her lens. Some people will simply dismiss this movie as a story about infidelity that often happens in marriage when one is not happy with the passion that is lost in sex with their spouse. It's a cliche as old as time in movies, but to just look at Babygirl as just that and nothing else is doing it a disservice. There are many layers to see in this movie if you are willing to look deep enough, and that will be up to the individual watching it. Like I said, many women will identify with what Romy goes through and how it can be hard to just be a mom and loving wife and have to say goodbye to the things that moved us and inspired us when we were younger. Getting older is hard, and on top of it, being a woman requires a lot, even if you are successful. There are still remnants of insecurity buried in Romy's past that come out in the affair she has with Samuel, who in turn we find has some issues as well. The two performances by the two leads works chemistry-wise for the most part, and there's some intense scenes of the power dynamic between the two that is fun to watch.
And if I don't?
Get on your knees.
No! What?
Get on your knees now. Is that what you want?
And I guarantee, if anything, that many couples will find a new thing to try in the bedroom by watching this movie. So there's that for the people who are only surface deep. For those making a more thorough read on the movie, you will find that communication is key in any marriage, and when you think you are sometimes listening, you actually may not be listening as good as you thought. Not to say that that should invite infidelity, but it can happen even in the most happy of marriages, at least the ones that look happy on the outside. It's funny how this movie can be like a couples therapy session. You wouldn't be the first to think that after walking out of this movie when all is said and done. Then there's another angle that comes into the movie at the end of whether abuse of power was ever an issue here, and I even had a small inkling of maybe Samuel used Romy in a professional sense. But I'm not completely sold on that, but others may feel differently. In the end, I had a good time watching this movie, even if it can be like going to couples therapy. There are bigger things at play that will have you empathizing with Romy, even if you still have questions at the end of what the true intentions of everyone involved was. Babygirl is a great introspection of the professional and personal life of women and what they go through, and how sometimes we assume that life must be great if you have success in one area that has to bleed into the other, right? Oftentimes that isn't the case, but sometimes it actually hinders what women ultimately want in their personal lives when dealing with intimacy and sex. I'm giving Babygirl a 7 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed this review. Be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, see you next time when we venture into the void.